Absolutely beautiful and blessed day to you. But wait, we'll be speaking about ukuphahla, or communicating with your ancestors. I know that quite a few of you have heard me say multiple times, guys, phahla, practice ukuphahla. When you have a dream that you're not certain of, communicate ukuphahla and ask for clarity from your ancestors. But what do I need? What does it look like? How often do I phahla? How do I know I'm doing it right and am I doing it wrong? And does my surname or the conditions under which I was conceived affect the way in which I communicate with my ancestors? And I'm going to answer all of your questions in this video, and I'm going to divide it into two parts. Part one, in which I'm going to discuss how do you phahla as a child conceived out of wedlock? How do you phahla as a child conceived in wedlock? How do you phahla as a stepchild? How do you phahla as a married woman? How do you phahla as an engaged woman? Those are the 5 things I'm going to cover in this video. And then in part 2, we are going to be discussing how do you phahla for umali, how do you phahla for umsebenzi, how do you phahla for umjolo, marriage, and everything else. Right. This setup that I've got right here is very simple and it's affordable as well. The purpose of this is to simply get you going. It's not the gold standard. As the dreams begin to flow and the idlozi begins to communicate to you, they will show you what method will work best for you, because that one is the most specific. This is simply to get you going on your spiritual journey. So all you will need are white candles in proper candle holders or glass jars. And the reason why I'm using these is in the event they fall over, right? No, we're not burning the house down. It is very important that we use long candles like this, and I'll explain to you why in just a moment. And then we have an enamel dish, okay? Just a normal enamel dish. Size doesn't really matter. And then you place your enamel dish between the 2 candles. All right? The water can be seawater, can be river water, but normal tap water will just be perfectly fine, and that'll definitely get the job done. So the reason we use candles of this length and we don't use the typical candles that we sell is because we need to see how the candles burn. The candles need to burn for at least 4, 5, 6 hours or so. So you ideally, if you're someone that goes to bed at 9, we're looking to phahla at around 4, 5 o'clock. The reason why we want the candles to burn over an extended period of time is because we need to see which side of the family the problem spiritually is coming from. From my point of view, the candle on the left indicates maternal or mother's side. The candle on the right indicates paternal or father's side. In the event, right, that there is oxygen in the room and there is a candle burning, it should burn perfectly fine. So when the candle on the left is remaining as is, but the candle on the right is burning much quicker, then that is indicative of the fact that there was a problem on the maternal side, or the issues are coming from the maternal side, or the dream, or inkulumo that you have just had, or that itiye, lesos tab that needs to be done, the request is coming from the maternal side. In the event the candle on the right is not burning and the one on the left is burnt down quickly, then the issue is coming from the father's side, the paternal side. Now, in the event after 4 or 5 hours you have both candles not burning, then this is indicative of umbango or call. This is indicative of the fact that it is not clear on what side of the family you fall. This is where people have taken their father's surnames after Inklawul. This is where people have taken their stepfather's surname. This is where people have taken their father's surname after only ilobolo has been done. So if you're sitting in this situation, then kunombango that needs to be resolved first before your ancestors can give you a clear answer. Right? Number 1, how do you phahla as a child conceived out of wedlock? The people that are conceived out of wedlock are also the children where only inklawulo has been paid. If your father only paid inklawulo, you belong on your mother's side of the family. And if you're a child that's conceived out of wedlock, the only surname you call upon is your maternal surname. So what I generally suggest to people is I start with the praise name Zagam Kiza in general, but because I come from the 13th house of the Mkiza clan, which is I then spit and then get okay fine, and then I work my way down and I start naming ancestors. Be specific and be accurate. I know people are going to tell you that no, you shouldn't call upon specific ancestors and you should keep it very general and very vague and you just say no, no, be specific and be accurate. the best way to increase your chances of getting a response as swiftly as possible is to be accurate and specific. What's better, to send a broadcast message on WhatsApp or to simply DM somebody straight? DMing Zilako straight is the best way to get an answer. So you start with the praise names, specifically about Posi or what clan, and then I name all the ancestors that I know of, and the last living ancestor that is my spiritual advocate is my grandmother. And then I say, and then I would say, and then proceed. That's if I was conceived out of wedlock. I hope that's clear, everybody. Right? Now, in the event you are conceived where your father paid ilobolo for you, but your mother and father never did amahlabiso, yaba. This is where what would happen is you would call upon your mother's side first. Because remember, your mother hasn't left your father's surname yet. Call upon your mother's side first, and then you can call upon your father's side, but acknowledge the fact that kunombango and kulotsholiwe kuphela. There was only ilobolo that has been paid, and then you can proceed. Okay? In the event you are partnering as a stepchild, the only surname that you call upon is your mother's maiden surname. That's it. The only surname as a stepchild that you call upon is your mother's maiden surname. In the event your stepfather has passed away and you would like to communicate with your stepfather, you ask your mother's maiden surname, to my father or can you please pass a message on to my father that raised me? I hope that's clear. Then we need to talk about women that are getting married or are already married. How do you pass? If you are a woman and ilobolo has been paid, right? What you are considered is umlobokazi. In other words, ilobolo has been paid in full for you. You are betrothed to somebody. You are a fiancé, but you have not left your maiden family completely, which would mean you still pasha and you call upon your maiden family first, right? Unless kunenkulumo ethinta your future husband and the children, then I would suggest I'm acknowledging that I'm coming to my husband's ancestors and his family as umlobokazi, not as umakot or umalokazana, right? You acknowledge that you are coming to them as a fiancé and not a full wife, but kunenkulumo that you feel is very important that you address with them. Okay? So you are breaking protocol, but you are motivating why you're breaking protocol, but at the same time you are acknowledging in what capacity you are coming to them. Very important to do that as a married woman or an engaged woman. If you are a married woman, everything else was done for you, that would mean now your primary surname is your husband's surname. You call upon your husband's surname first, and then you can call upon your maiden surname and proceed with ukuphahla. If you are a woman that is married, it is very important that you remember, right? Can't be burning your away, even if you are a healer. Even if you're a healer, right? One of the videos I'm going to cover is the mistakes that some healers or women make, and they blur the lines between ukushisimpepho endumben and ukushisimpepho emsamosekhaya, right? But part 2, we're going to discuss ukuphahla for imali, ukuphahla for umsebenzi, ukuphahla for umjolo, ukuphahla for umshado. Thokozani, mawande.